Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with another video, this time from Breitbart, dated, actually the day I'm recording it is March 18th, on the day it came out, and I was waiting to see something like this today, because as you all know out there, the 12 of you that have been listening, if it's even that many, more like 4, I don't know, but I'm a fan of John Nolte from Breitbart. He's got the right amount of snark in his articles, but he also has a hoax counter on here, so that's what I like to see, is just, I wanted to see an article of him with him adding the Bloodbath hoax to his long list of media hoaxes, and it's not even all of them. So, again, like I said, I was waiting for this article, so we're going to go through it today, and this is all based on the Bloodbath comments that Trump made the other day, which they, of course, are taking completely out of context. And wait, this was debunked in real time, but you still have idiot news stations like MSNBC and CNN saying, oh no, this thing that provably didn't happen the way we looked into it, no, it still happened that way. So let's see what Mr. Nolte from Breitbart has to say. So the article is called From Aaron Rodgers to Bloodbath, Media Hoax Season Begins. So yeah, he's combining these two things together. The Aaron Rodgers thing about the whole Sandy Hook massacre from years ago. So let's see what he has to say here. It says, with former President Trump polling as well as he ever has, as well as any Republican presidential candidate has in 20 years, the corporate media are staring into an abyss called irrelevance and firing off one desperate hoax after another in the hopes of salvaging his fraudulency, Joe Biden, and their own sense of self. If, after everything they have thrown at him, Trump wins re-election, they won't be able to get out of bed. And hopefully they stay there because they all suck. It says the corporate media plan is no secret. We know because the plan has been made public by the Democrat Party, and since the corporate media and this Democrat Party, Democrat Party are one, we know the plan is this. 1, destroy third-party candidates, and 2, keep the spotlight on Trump so the election becomes a referendum on him and not Biden's catastrophic presidency, not Afghanistan, inflation, energy prices, or 8 million illegal aliens invading our country. Because there's just one problem. The media can't do that honestly. Trump is exhibiting more restraint on the campaign trail, which gives the media fewer opportunities to lose their ever-loving minds over something he might have actually said. And says as far as third-party candidates go, they are who they are. The appeal of Robert F. Kennedy Jr., Jill Stein, and Cornel West is that they march to a different drummer. Attacking Kennedy as an anti-vaxxer is like attacking Marilyn Monroe for her sex appeal, like we all knew that. It says, duh, dummies, that's why we like him. Oh, and Cornel West is a race hustler who likes the ladies, okay, and yes, he is a race hustler, and that's why I do not like him. But here it says, but what? It says orders are orders, and when the Democrat Party issues an order, the corporate media snap to attention, even if it means whoring out their credibility yet again. And I think they certainly did in both of these scenarios. So it's about to jump into the Aaron Rodgers thing that happened on CNN. And it says, in the annals of whoring one's credibility, CNN LOL's Jake Tapper won last week's brass ring in his own personal effort to desperately suck up to Biden with a whopper about NFL quarterback Aaron Rodgers. It says, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. floated the idea of making Rodgers his vice presidential choice, so Tapper and his fellow CNN harpy Pamela Brown stormed the barricades with a laughable story about Rodgers questioning the validity of the December 2012 mass shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary. So the story was based on Brown's claim that she had a private conversation with Rodgers at a party 11 years ago where he expressed his doubts. Another unnamed source was dug up to back Brown's claim. So right off the bat, there's a problem here. If you're working at a major news station, I've never done journalism, but I know that I think you need at least 3 sources to confirm that something is in fact accurate. So what we're doing here is that there's one source who has a massive conflict of interest in that she works for, the same company that's reporting on it that I just highlighted right there, and somebody else that was just an unnamed source. So we don't actually know who that is. Okay? So there's really, I would say, one person here, and that's her. Just like you had a conversation with someone 11 years ago, and they said something, and then some other unnamed person who we don't know is just like, I think that might have happened, like, what? That's enough for a supposed respected news station to go, yes, let's run that story. That sounds completely legit. Like, if they came to me with this, I would have looked at them and been like, you cannot possibly run that. Okay? Like, this is just hearsay, is essentially what it is. And that's what you're trying to report on as news. Let's keep going here. It says, Democrat Party on Wednesday. We need to take down third-party candidates. Jake Tapper on Thursday. Am I bent over far enough, sir? And this is Jake Tapper, in case you don't know. And I'm sure most of you know Aaron Rodgers there. What I find especially amusing is this second unnamed source. Why unnamed? What is this person afraid of? that one of the most famous athletes in the world will ring his doorbell and run. A ding-dong ditched him. Says, but the hoax must go on, even though everything Rogers said and did publicly at the time regarding that awful shooting that wouldn't have happened if teachers were armed instead of left helpless by Democrats was perfectly appropriate. And were, at worst, and in private, Rogers was making the conversation interesting. And man, I just forgot how to read there for that sentence. It says, even as the hoax flamed out, the corporate media as a whole cooked up an entirely new one using two laughably desperate tactics. Have I just forgotten how to read in the last couple of sentences? There's number one, deliberately taking Trump out of context, and two, ignoring a well-known and commonly used definition of the word bloodbath. So here's the full context of Trump's remarks that he made about the whole bloodbath thing. He said, quote, if you're listening, President Xi, and you and I are friends, but he understands the way I deal, those big monster car manufacturing plants that you're building in Mexico right now, you're going to not hire Americans and you're going to sell the cars to us. No, we're going to put a 100% tariff on every single car that comes across the line, and you're not going to be able to sell those cars if I get elected. Now, if I don't get elected, it's going to be a bloodbath for the whole. That's going to be the least of it. It's going to be a bloodbath for the country. That will be the least of it. But they're not going to sell those cars. They're building massive factories. So, end quote. It says, but just as we saw with the Very Fine People hoax, facts mean nothing to the corporate media, especially when their guy is losing in every single swing state. Hence, a common phrase is now Trump promising a nationwide massacre if he loses the election. And this is an exact quote. I've seen the video. He's obviously talking about cars and car manufacturing. Anybody that says he's not, you're just a stupid person. Okay. It says this when we all know that if Biden loses in November, the left-wing terrorists and Antifa and Black Lives Matter will, and with the corporate media's full approval, burn, loot, rape, and murder for the next 4 years. And the list goes on and on and on. And here, as you can see at the bottom of all the hoaxes John Nolte likes to publish, the bloodbath hoax has been added. So just since Trump came down the escalator, we have how many hoaxes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and we're still counting hoaxes. Okay, and that's not even everything. So let's just say that 29 was everything, though. So for the people out there that still trust the mainstream media, they've lied to you provably 29 times in less than a decade. Okay, so let's go with 9 years. Okay, 9 divided by 29 is a little over 3. So a little over 3 times a year there's a major hoax that the mainstream media all reports as a thing that actually happened. Okay, never mind the fact that some of this stuff keeps coming up. Why do you still trust them? They're obviously untrustworthy. Okay, but let's just finish this up because there's only one more sentence left. It says, we are dealing with sociopaths, get out of the cities and move here. And it's another article from John Nolte about living in wherever he lives. It's country, it's rural. So yeah, I'd like to live in the country too. But yeah, I guess the overall question is, did you hear the bloodbath comments? What do you think about the media doing this stuff? What do you think about what CNN tried to do to Aaron Rodgers? Are there any other hoaxes on here? And the article is linked below, so you don't have to worry about me scrolling up and down every time. Actually, it does kind of fit nicely right here. So I'll leave it like that. So yeah, the article's below. See if there's any hoaxes you want to add to this list and put them in the comments below. But let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you soon.